Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today we're diving into some cool idioms about memory and forgetfulness. So grab your pen and notebook, because you'll want to write these down to really make them stick. Let's start by the simple one. To remember something like it was yesterday. This one is easy, right? If you remember something clearly and with details, especially something that happened long ago. This can be for happy events like graduations or birthdays, or anything else that left a strong impression on you. You can say, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
No, I remember it like it was yesterday, okay?
I remember that story just like it was yesterday, even though it's 3 years ago.
Moving on to, if my memory serves me right. You can use this when you're fairly certain about something you remember, but you want to acknowledge that there's a small chance you could be mistaken. For example, if you're chatting with someone and you think you met before, you might say, if my memory serves me right, we met at that conference last year, right?
If my memory serves me right, we better hurry up because I think I'm about to leave.
Your dad was 16 when he quit school, if my memory serves me correctly.
Another useful phrase is, to the best of my recollection. You can use this when you are recalling something with a reasonable degree of certainty, but want to acknowledge that your memory might not be perfect. The phrase emphasizes the act of carefully gathering and presenting recollected memories as accurately as possible. It conveys a thoughtful attempt to recall details, often used in formal or legal contexts. For example, to the best of my recollection, the meeting started at 3 p.m.
I'm saying, to the best of my recollection, I must recall in my memory, I cannot remember.
No, not to the best of my recollection.
Next up, that jogs my memory. You can use this when something triggers a forgotten or unclear memory, bringing it back to mind. The idiom suggests that the memory needed a small nudge or reminder to become clear again. For example, seeing an old photograph or hearing a familiar song might jog your memory about an event or person.
Perhaps I can jog your memory then.
No. Keep looking, maybe something will jog your memory.
It rings a bell. You're expressing that something sounds familiar or triggers a vague memory, but you can't quite recall the details. This phrase implies that there's some recognition, but the memory may need further prompting or context to become fully clear. For example, his name rings a bell, but I can't remember where I've heard it before.
Doesn't ring a bell.
None of this rings a bell?
Nothing rings a bell.
It's on the tip of my tongue. You're describing a situation where you know the information you're trying to recall, but are momentarily unable to articulate it. It's as if the answer is right there, ready to be spoken, but it escapes you at that moment. This phrase is often used when you're struggling to remember a word, name, or piece of information. For example, I know her name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't seem to remember it right now.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
When you say, it completely slipped my mind, you're admitting that you forgot something, often something important, without intending to do so. It's as if the thought or memory briefly escaped your attention or awareness. This phrase is commonly used when you suddenly remember something you were supposed to do or mention, but forgot. For example, I'm so sorry, but your birthday completely slipped my mind.
It just slipped my mind.
I should have told you earlier. It slipped my mind.
Slipped my mind completely.
You know, Jeffrey, it just slipped my mind.
All right, guys, that was all for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, take care.